It's time for Around the Ozarks News, brought to you by the Springfield Greene County Park Board, Blue Current, and Thompson Sales. Here are your hosts, Ethan and Sarah Foreheads.
And here we are again, Ethan and Diana Tyndall from Modern Day Marketing. Good to see you this morning.
Yes.
You all right on this Wednesday?
I'm fine. I slept like a baby.
Okay.
Just kidding. No,
all right.
I'm
well,
fine.
good.
Let's do this day.
That's what I wanted to hear. I don't know that I believe it, but that's what I wanted to hear.
Happy hump day.
Happy hump day. Well, some of the Ozarks may be staying home today. Another winter weather is part of our day. Yet again, different parts of the area getting different precipitation. Winter weather advisories in place until 9 o'clock tonight. There's like 60 million people across the country in this winter weather. I saw snow at the White House yesterday. There's a lot of winter weather going around, and I don't think I'm hearing that it may not be the last round. There may be some more next week, but that's for a different time. Make sure you check in with Abby Dyer's Wake Up Weather right after this to find out what the day looks like and when the precipitation stops and maybe melts. That would be fantastic.
Yeah. Yes, please.
In other news this morning, a new development is moving forward in Galloway Village, another new one. It just received approval from the city council. Nearly 9 acres at the southeast corner of Battlefield and Lone Pine will be turned into about 40 lots for houses. Some nearby residents not happy about that, opposing the proposed development. They say the roads and traffic in and out of that new subdivision would pose an undue burden on them, as well as would be a safety risk for them. So they're basically saying the roads can't handle that many cars, that much traffic, and there's no infrastructure. So they're trying to block it. So far, the council has gone along with it. Looks like it'll happen.
I remember when I was at the Parks Department and that park, Sequiota Park, I believe down there, gets so much traffic already because it's a beautiful park. And then they have the brewery down there and there's a lot of other developments with Galloway. And that was a big concern, was the road. Like, can that infrastructure handle that many people? But people love it there. So
they're working on the main road down there, one of the big intersections right across the street from Sequiota Park, Lone Pine and something. I can't remember the road. It goes up kind of.
They're building something there too. Like they've demolished like that whole area. I'm like, you're kind of sent down this detour. Like they've closed that road.
Right.
I don't know if it's still closed, but
yeah, it's picking up.
Yeah. Well, the city council also approved a plan to rezone some land so that CoxHealth can build a pediatric clinic. And all the moms and dads rejoice. That clinic would stand alone on 29 acres on East Primrose, east of current CoxHealth facilities. Cox wants to create an outpatient pediatric center that will allow families to stay in the area and receive that quality care. So that's wonderful.
Okay. Yeah, they got a lot of land over there. So they're going to do that. And they've got other stuff planned in the future. They haven't named it yet, but the pediatric clinic's a good start.
Yeah, stay tuned to Around the Ozarks. I'm sure we'll tell you about it. Yeah. And Ozark Greenways, this was surprising to me. Ozark Greenways finds itself without an executive director. Rick Ash has resigned the position. He only took over on January 1st, and he resigned on January 30th.
Yeah.
No word on why. The board, Ozark Greenway board, is looking for a new person to lead the group that oversees this local nonprofit that advocates for our trails and greenway system. And what a neat job. I knew the former director, Mary Cromry, and she did a wonderful job, as well as Terry Whaley before that, who was the pioneer for the trail system here. It seemed like great organization. So if you think you're the person, go apply.
Now's the time. Last guy was in there for a month. We have a really improving trail system. I feel like they're making headway, bringing the trail all the way up to the Ozark Mill. And so we'll see what happens with the next person.
Yeah.
An American teacher who was being detained in a Russian jail is now a free man. This is something.
Wow.
Mark Fogel was released and returned to the United States. President Trump told Fogel's mother prior to the election that if he won back the presidency, he would get her son freed. And he has. It happened yesterday. The White House says the move is evidence of diplomatic thaw with Russia. that could make its way toward the end of the war in Ukraine. So stay tuned for that.
Wow.
Meanwhile, the terrorist organization Hamas said it was scrapping a scheduled hostage release this weekend, arguing that Israel hasn't kept its end of the bargain. That did not go over well with Israel or the United States. So President Trump now warning the group that if they do not release all of the remaining hostages by noon on Saturday, all bets are off and all hell will break loose. Don't know exactly what that means.
Wow.
But the president also said he feared that many of the dozens of remaining hostages are dead, and accused Hamas of mistreating those who have already been released because they were very, very skinny.
Oh, my goodness.
So we'll see what happens if they don't release those hostages, but it's not going to be good for them, I don't think.
Yeah, it breaks my heart in so many ways. I remember actually as a little girl, there was a POW, prisoner of war. My dad was in the Air Force. And I remember as a little girl, we prayed for this guy. And I think you can look him up. His name is Terry Waite.
Terry Waite, of course. I remember Terry Waite.
Okay. We prayed for him for years. And he actually survived and got out. I don't remember how many years he was just held as a prisoner of war, but
it was a long time.
It was amazing. So there is hope. I feel like there is hope. There always has to be hope, but
there's hope. I got to hear Terry Waite speak somewhere. I was sure. I think maybe when I was at UNLV in Las Vegas, but I've been in lots of places since then, so I don't remember where. But I got to hear him speak, and he's got obviously an incredible story.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, just wow. How inspiring. Okay, well, on to this. The city of Licking is getting $2.5 million, that is, from the state to upgrade the city's water system. That's enough money to pay for the entire project, which should be finished this year. As a part of the plan, the city will replace water mains and lines as well as hydrants. So Licking should be happy.
Yep.
And the Ozark Mountain Daredevils are planning 3 farewell concerts. I feel like we've been talking about concerts so much lately.
Right.
But 3 farewell concerts in Springfield as they conclude what they say is their final farewell tour ever. I feel like we've heard this before. The 3-night series is planned for November 13th, 14th, and 15th at Hammonds Hall for the Performing Arts on the campus of Missouri State. And they're calling it 53 Years of Music, 3 Unforgettable Nights. If you want to be a part of it, tickets go on sale next week, February 21st. So save the date and set your phone alarm.
Yeah, a week from Friday. I was reading about this a little bit, and I think they're going to have 3 separate concerts. The first one's going to be with the Springfield Symphony Orchestra, which is cool. Oh. The second one is going to be like the Daredevils and friends, so a bunch of local musicians joining them. And then the last one is going to be just them, and it's like the farewell.
So show. You need to get tickets to all 3 nights, is what you're saying.
Well, they're
all going to be different.
They'll be different. Yeah, it won't be the same thing all 3 nights. So the big fans, I think, will do that. Yeah, they don't want to miss it. Yeah. So
yeah, that's so exciting.
The Daredevils are fun, that's for sure. And they just got tired of touring. They said they love the shows, but that's only 2 hours of a 24-hour day, and the rest of it is driving and sleeping on lumpy beds and all the stuff.
That's got to get old. Yeah,
doesn't make touring fun. Yeah, and we, people who never tour, like regular people, have no idea what that's like. It's a whole life,
No, thanks.
Being on the road. All right, here's the bad news, and I think you already know it, but the Chiefs were embarrassed in the Super Bowl. They were thoroughly destroyed. Sorry, Diana. Being shut out in the first half and then losing by a score of 40-22. It's not like they didn't even show up. But here's the worst news. More people saw their collapse than watched any other Super Bowl ever in history.
Oh.
So they embarrassed themselves in front of like a lot of people.
Millions and millions of people.
Yeah.
Right.
At its peak in the second quarter, I have some stats to back it up. At its peak in the second quarter, viewership was up to 138 million people.
Wow.
So that is
Wow.
not quite a third of the country, but a lot of people. And you figure those are TVs that are on. So a lot of people were watching. A lot of people were watching one TV. So you can't. That's not the number of people necessarily.
Right.
It was the number of TVs on. Yeah. So it's a lot. It's a lot.
Okay. Can we move on now?
Yeah, well, I hope the Chiefs have.
Yeah, I think they have too. Even Mahomes was apologizing. I thought that was tasteful. Thank you.
What was it?
Patrick.
8 sacks, 9 sacks, something like that. A couple of interceptions.
Oh, just terrible.
Yeah.
Just terrible. Well, at Around the Ozarks, we do love giving away stuff. And so this week we are giving away pairs of tickets to this year's Sertoma Chili Cook-Off on Saturday, which is coming up February 22nd at the Springfield Expo Center. Mm-hmm. The Chili Cook-Off obviously features dozens of businesses serving up a lot of different chili. They make their own recipes. I know I've done this in the past, and it's so much fun to get up and cook chili really early, but it is even more joyful to serve it to the public. And it goes towards a great cause. So it goes to support the Boys and Girls Club of Springfield. And to enter, just share this Facebook post of this episode and share it. And then on the actual post, comment shared. Right? Did I get that right, Ethan?
Yep. Just type in the word shared.
Type in the word shared. So winners will be selected each day through Friday. So make sure to share every day to increase your chances of winning those tickets.
Yeah, you got a decent chance to win. And that's a super fun thing to go to, the Chili Cook-Off. You get to taste all different types of chilies. And the Sertoma Club, they do such a good job raising money for local kids charities. And they're a fun group. I got to speak to them a few times.
And I mean, if you like to drink beer, which you may not, but I enjoy it every now and then. I feel like they have a lot of beverages there for adults.
They do. Yeah, you can make a whole day of it if you want.
I know a lot of people that actually do. So you might want to rearrange your schedule and take an Uber down there, drink responsibly as you're having chili, and have fun, folks.
Chili and beer doesn't work for me. My stomach, it disagrees. Those two things.
Tell us more about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
But I like chili. I would have the chili.
Yeah. It's
all right. That'll do it for a Wednesday. We'll see what Thursday's weather brings. But again, check in with Abby Dyer's Wake Up Weather and find out. How about that? You got anything left to share?
Happy Hump Day.
Happy Hump Day. It is Hump Day. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. And we will see you right back here bright and early tomorrow. Have a great day.
Bye.
It's time for Around the Ozarks Wake Up Weather, sponsored by John's Heating and Air, Command Family Medicine, and Taylor Grubaugh Chevrolet. Here's your host, meteorologist Abby Dyer.
Welcome to your Wednesday. It is February 12th, and we are waking up with a winter mass on the radar in a lot of places early this morning, and temperatures that are either side of that critical freezing point this morning, which makes the forecast very fun. We've got a little bit of everything this morning. We've already had some fog, some freezing fog in the forecast. There's been some freezing drizzle reported across the Ozarks, adding a little thin layer of ice to everything this morning, making it feel rather slick. That's along and north of the I-44 corridor. We also have rain chances in the Ozarks today, along with additional chances for freezing rain, sleet, and snow. So not complicated at all. And definitely we will have some winter impacts from that. We are already feeling the effects of those. Make sure you check that MoDOT travel map before heading out. And there is a long list of schools that are closed in the Ozarks. So it is just going to be kind of a winter-like day, a bonus snow day for many as we head into the rest of the afternoon. We'll get straight to it this morning because there is a lot to talk about. A lot of what we have on the radar right now is a wintry mix. So that rain-snow mix, there's some sleet in there, a little bit of freezing drizzle. Anywhere where the temperature is 32 or just above, yes, there could be some slick spots, but I think what you're going to experience is a lot of melting on the way down. Also, there have been some winter events that have happened before sunrise, but a lot of this now is going to be falling during the daylight hours, and oftentimes it takes a little bit longer to accumulate. So what we may see is some of the rainfall or snowfall melting as it comes down to the surface. I think we will see a lot of that along and south of the I-44 corridor, meaning that it doesn't look bad outside, but there could still be some impacts and some slick spots. Where the slick spots and the impacts are going to be really likely is where the soil temperature and the surface temperature is well below freezing. And that's for areas along and north of Highway 54. And yes, north of Highway 60 as well. That corridor is going to be rather slick this morning too. So just look out this morning. If you absolutely have to be on the roads, make sure you are taking it slow. Slow is really just the only way to do it in weather like this. It is a mess across the country. It's not just us in the Ozarks having a wintry event today. It's much of the Ohio River Valley, the Tennessee Valley, and then there's flash flooding happening down along the Gulf Coast, all from this same storm system. We are in the part of the storm system that's kind of cutting that line where the freezing line is. And that's why we have a mixed bag of precipitation falling today. And I think in Springfield, we get just a little bit of everything. A winter weather advisory is in place for most of the area through 9 p.m. tonight. That includes the Springfield metro area and the I-44 corridor. In fact, it stretches down into northern Arkansas and parts. Even though temperatures along the Missouri and Arkansas state line will be closer to the freezing point or even above freezing, I don't expect a whole lot in the way of wintry weather there. Yes, we could still see a few slick areas, so big heads up for everybody if you're traveling today. If you're heading up north, especially toward Kansas City, that's where most of the snowfall is going to happen. I-70 corridor, bigger snowfall totals expected there, along with the Jeff City region. Lake of the Ozarks probably going to end up having one of our highest snowfall totals after this event. The ice accumulation, the freezing rain, and the sleet, that's going to be kind of falling right along the I-44 corridor. Eastern Ozarks have a good chance for seeing this. So I'm talking Houston back toward West Plains, all the way over into portions of Taney County and Douglas County. This is where I think we see the sleet and the ice really pick up. Wright County could see some of this as well. It's a wintry mix for the center of the Ozarks, so it may not look like much out the window, but that thin layer of ice is enough to make things really dicey. More likely, we have the rain chances south of Highway 60 and the far southern portion of Missouri into northern Arkansas, and then higher snowfall totals along Highway 54. As I mentioned, Lake of the Ozarks back into portions of Hickory County, all the way down over to Joplin and Pittsburgh. That's where the higher snowfall totals will be, anywhere from 2 to 5 inches of snowfall there. And even central Missouri could see 6+ in the area. So the highest totals will go to the Kansas City region. The greatest snowfall accumulations in the Ozarks north of I-44, but still in the Springfield area, I'm thinking 1 to 2 inches of snowfall for us. That's with a thin little layer of ice beneath it. So enough to make it slick and warrant some of the closings happening across the Ozarks today. We have additional chances for wintry weather in this forecast too. By this weekend, I have yet another chance for rain changing over into snow. That's going to happen on Saturday evening into Saturday night. So I want to alert you to that. Travel on Sunday could be slick again with some of the rain changing over to snowfall. That looks to happen Saturday night into early Sunday. Temperatures, they're brutally cold. Today we have a high temperature just above the freezing point for many, and then lows tonight will fall to the low teens. It'll feel like the low single digits though on Thursday morning. We also continue to see temperatures that are really cold Thursday night back into the teens again, 18 for Friday morning. And then by Friday afternoon, we start to see those numbers jump. We'll be back into the mid 40s on Friday, and then numbers cool down again for the weekend. And the weather doesn't look nice really for the next couple of weeks. It does look like we'll be in kind of a cooler than average and an active pattern for us. Not unusual, though. I mentioned that it's very active across the country today. And indeed, there's a lot going on across the nation. We have a winter storm affecting much of the country today with heavy snow, sleet, and freezing rain. Also, this same storm, it moves into the Great Lakes and the Northeast on Thursday. While all of that's happening, we've got heavy rain and flash flooding for the Gulf Coast states, and then this atmospheric river bringing flooding and torrential rain to parts of Northern California. That will be ongoing as we head into today too. So no lack of weather headlines in your forecast, definitely. All right, it's time for the Around the Ozarks Wake Up Weather Brain Twister trivia question. And the question that I left you with yesterday, it was a 50-50. And do you know this one? True or false? Mittens are warmer than gloves. It doesn't seem like it should be true, but it is. Congrats. If A, true was your guess. When your fingers are in close proximity to each other, they generate more heat collectively if you let them stay together in a mitten. It results in an increased overall warmth, and this makes mittens an excellent choice for those who tend to have really cold hands or on these extreme, brutally cold days. Gloves provide less warmth, but they offer better dexterity, especially if you're like me and you're trying to like zip up little children with mittens or gloves on for that matter. I end up having to take them off and, I suffer for a short period of time. But I heard this fun fact, and as a result, I bought my kids mittens instead of gloves in hopes that they stay a little bit warmer. We'll need that in the coming days. All right, here's the question that I'll leave you with for tomorrow. Each year, at least how many snowflakes fall from the sky? Yeah, total, like across the world. Do you think it is 90 million, 5 billion, 1 trillion, or 1 septillion? Do you have a guess? Let me know what you think. You can do that at aroundtheozarks.com. I sure appreciate you listening this morning. I hope everyone stays safe in this winter weather. Take it slow. Stay off the roads if you can along I-44 and north. That's where I think most of the slick spots are today. Thanks so much to our sponsors, John's Heating and Air, Command Family Medicine, and Taylor Grubaugh Chevrolet. Have a great one. We'll chat again tomorrow morning.